Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, we have breaking news. A New York appeals court has thrown out a $500 million fine in a civil fraud case against President Trump, his family, and his company. The court upheld a lower judge's ruling that found Trump liable of fraud by inflating his wealth to secure better business deals, but called the monetary penalty of more than $515 million excessive. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky is here with more. So, Aaron, what went into this decision?
This is a 323-page opinion from the Appellate Division's First Department, and the judges are not in agreement here, but it appears they have found that after a 3-month trial, the judge, this was a bench trial, the judge, Arthur Engoron, correctly found that Trump, his eldest sons, and his business perpetrated a decade's worth of business fraud by hyping the value of Trump's assets to include his apartment in Trump Tower. They said it was triple its actual square footage. The value of Mar-a-Lago, his private Florida golf club, they valued it thinking it was an unrestricted waterfront property in Palm Beach when there are heavy restrictions on its development. But they said the penalty that Engoron imposed for all of this fraud of $464 million violated the Eighth Amendment. It was excessive, and so they've thrown out the monetary judgment and it may be left to New York's highest court to determine what the ultimate penalty, if any, should be.
So what happens next?
Well, that's a good question. We haven't really heard from any of the main players. We heard from one of the attorneys who worked for President Trump at the time, Alina Habba, who is now in an acting capacity as the U.S. Attorney in New Jersey. She says that this was a win for President Trump, which it clearly is if he doesn't have to pay $500 million, which he had to arrange in escrow. But it is not over, and we can assume that the Attorney General's office here in New York will likely appeal to the state's highest court.
All right, our Chief Investigative Correspondent, Aaron Katersky. Aaron, thank you.